Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Vulvas. I'm super excited to be here today on this beautiful Thursday morning. I am in Florida, and so it's really nice and sunny here today. So that's a perfect start to the morning to get up and to do all of those things. I'm drinking my coffee out of a nice big mug because I need lots of coffee to be a boss lady today and get through the day. Again, Nespresso, best coffee machine I've ever had. But I really hope that you guys are doing well. I wanted to touch on something a little bit in health, but also just kind of like in general. You can see like the massive bags under my eyes and how tired I look. Insomnia, man, insomnia is a rough situation, and it has lasted so much longer than what I'm used to. And it's been going on for the past probably 2 weeks now. And my insomnia is something that I always thought was like, oh, it's not really insomnia. It's totally fine. It's something that I'm just stressed about, or I'm just waking up because of anxiety. And I have finally just recognized that it's true insomnia, which sucks, but it is what it is. And I know that there could be worse things, but I don't know if any of you have struggled with insomnia, but it can be the worst experience because you'll wake up in the middle of the night if you go to sleep, but you'll wake up and then you just can't fall back asleep. And I don't feel anxious. I'm not having panic attacks. I'm not feeling like overwhelmed or anything like that. It's literally I just wake up and I just can't go back to sleep. And recently it's been at the same time every night. And I initially got concerned about that because in the healthcare realm as a physical therapist, that's kind of like, a change in sleep patterns and then waking up at the same night cyclically is something to be concerned about. And I had reached out to my doctor and talked to her, and I'm taking like progesterone and hormone, and I've tried CBD and I've tried THC. I've tried all of the things. And it just seems to be a pattern that I go through every so often. And the tough part about it is being a business owner makes it really difficult when you're not sleeping, because sleep is imperative to all of your functioning throughout the day. It means a lot with weight loss. It means a lot with pain. It is highly affecting like my ability to think and my ability to do this video per se, because you can see that I'm probably talking a little bit slower. And it makes me drink more caffeine because I feel tired throughout the day. It makes me worry that I'm not up to par with where I need to be for my clients and for the things that I need to accomplish that day. It's really kind of frustrating, and it's an irritating thing to have to deal with, but it's not something that I feel is overtaking my life, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, it's irritating. I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I do that do help. But I really just wanted to tell you my story a little bit because it's a hard one to deal with, really. But in business, it's difficult. And I think I haven't really talked about this much with you all, but the Boss Lady mug is because I am excited to launch my next business. As you can see from my YouTube channel, I eliminate shame and guilt around pelvic floor dysfunction, but I'm also going to be working with women who are interested in doing business and going into business and starting their own businesses and figuring out where their power and their magic is, but doing that with a history of sexual assault or domestic abuse, because I've been through it and I've figured out a lot of really great ways to be able to manage and maintain my success in business, and also being able to tailor around the emotions that come up. So when things like this happen, how is my business still functioning? How is it still running? How is it doing when I don't have the ability or the energy to go into work that day? And so being able to figure that out and being able to teach women that is really important to me. And I'm super excited to be able to offer that. So if you're interested in that, of course, please email me or reach out and let me know. And I'd love to chat with you about what that looks like. But, as far as the insomnia goes, the things that I've found that have worked, and it may sound crazy, I actually wake up and I will lay there for probably a good 30 minutes and make sure that I'm not going to fall back asleep first. And then I'll get out of bed. And then I get out of bed and I go to a different room. And the science and research does back up moving and like going to a different room. I go to a different room and I try to read a little bit of a book that has nothing to do with work, a book that has nothing to do with pelvic health or business at all, because that's going to start my brain and thinking all the things I need to do. So I'm reading a book right now about a sister that disappeared and there was a murder in the town or something like that. So not something that's going to contribute to anxiety or fear, hopefully, but we'll see. But reading hopefully will make my eyes really tired. Sometimes that makes me tired enough to rest. And I say rest because I don't really fall asleep again. I usually just close my eyes and I'm able to rest and kind of like just get into the mode of things are okay, I'm cool. Another thing that I've noticed that really works is, and it sounds crazy, but standing up and like walking around the house. And I'll walk around the house super slow and focus on my breath as I'm walking. It helps to calm me down because I do get anxiety when I wake up and I can't go back to sleep, specifically for times when I have to get up early. So if I have a meeting at like 8 o'clock, or if I have a client at like 9 and I can't sleep, I get really anxious because I'm like, well, what if I miss my alarm? Or what if I do fall back asleep and I can't get back up? Or what if I'm really grumpy the next day? And so I get up and I'll walk and I'll do a little bit of that, and I'll focus on my breath as I'm walking back and forth down my small little hallway. It's almost like a zombie walking. And then I'll go lay back down and I'll focus on my breath. And then I focus on a 4-part breathing. It's 4-second breathing, not 4-part, 3-part, but 4 seconds. And so I'll breathe in for 4 seconds and I'll hold that for 4 seconds, and then I'll breathe out for 4 seconds. And I'll do that for a little bit, and then I'll go into 5 seconds, and then I'll go into 6 seconds, and then I'll do 7, 8, and like do the best that I can until I feel so calm that I just feel like I can relax. And I think throughout the day, it's been really important to tailor my schedule towards knowing that I'm not sleeping well. And so I make sure that I have breaks throughout the day to where I can either take a nap if I'm able to, which I'm not a great napper, but if I'm able to just lay down and meditate or relax for a couple of minutes in the middle of the day, that's really going to help me get through the day. And all kinds of other things. And so insomnia is really just like, and it's something I deal with clients a lot. My clients deal with this when they have pelvic pain, or they deal with this when they have pelvic floor dysfunction or anxiety or depression. And we talk about insomnia, or we talk about sleep problems. And I want to be clear that insomnia is a pretty consistent, like it's a pretty chronic thing, in a sense of like you can't sleep and you don't get more sleep than a couple of hours. And a sleep issue, or like because of stress, you wake up and you're worried and you're stressed about something. And so that's not always the same thing. So being mindful that you know the difference between the two. And if you do feel like you have something more in the insomnia realm, that you reach out to your doctor and you ask if there's anything that you can do that might help. Is there any counselors that work with insomnia? Is there anybody that can help us calm down and things like that? And making sure that it's also, you have a friend or someone close by that you can chat to about these things, because it becomes really frustrating and it's difficult to get through sometimes. But anyways, that is Coffee and Vulvas today. I hope you enjoyed. I know it's a little longer. I'm talking a little slower than usual, but hopefully those tips help. If you have any tips for me, feel free to comment and I will check them out for sure. And I hope that you all have an awesome Thursday.